I grew up hearing one constant warning in our house: stay away from Mr. Calder. He is dangerous. Our neighbor, an old man with a stone-gray beard and a back that curved like a question mark, lived alone in the house next door. He rarely spoke, rarely smiled, and rarely came outside except to collect his mail at exactly 7 a.m. To my parents, he was a menace waiting to happen. To the neighborhood kids, he was the villain of every scary story. To me, he was just a mystery. But my parents were firm. "Don't talk to him, Noah. Don't even look at him too long," my mother would scold. "He has a past." "What past?" I once asked. "A dark one," my father said, ending the conversation. So I grew up watching Mr. Calder from behind curtains, imagining he had bodies buried in his backyard or that he once kidnapped someone. My parents never offered details, only fear. When I turned 18, I moved out for college. After that, I saw Mr. Calder only during holidays when I visited home. He grew thinner each year, like life was slowly sanding him down. Then one cold Tuesday morning, I woke to a message from my mother. "Mr. Calder passed away last night." I stared at the screen strangely. A part of me felt sad, not because I knew him well, but because I never got the chance to. 3 days later, my parents told me the funeral was happening at the old community church. What surprised me was how my mother insisted I attend. "You should go," she said. "It's the right thing to do." "But you and Dad hated him," I pointed out. My parents exchanged a glance, one of those silent glances adults share when they know more than they want to say. "Just go," my father repeated quietly. And so I went. The funeral of a ghost. I expected an empty room with a lonely coffin. Instead, the church was full. Old men in military uniforms, middle-aged women wiping tears, younger people holding flowers, people I had never seen before. Every seat was packed. I slipped into the back row, feeling suddenly out of place. How did a man who never left his house have this many mourners? The priest began with gentle words about Arthur Calder, a name I had never heard spoken fully. Then he stepped aside for the first speaker. A woman in her 40s walked up to the podium, tears tremoring in her voice. "Arthur saved my life," she said. "When I was 10, my stepfather was violent. Arthur called the police every single time he heard screaming. He testified for me in court. Because of him, I survived." My eyes widened. That didn't sound dangerous at all. Next, a man in uniform spoke. 12 years ago, Arthur intercepted a robbery. The thieves tried to escape. He shielded a child with his own body, took a knife in the arm, never spoke about it. The crowd murmured with respect. Then came an elderly man with shaking hands. "Arthur took care of me when no one else would," he said. "He bought me groceries when I couldn't walk, fixed my roof. He refused to take money, even when he barely had any." Each story chipped away at everything I had believed. The dangerous man wasn't dangerous at all. He was a guardian, a quiet protector, a man who lived in shadows but acted in light. My heartbeat quickened. Why had my parents hated him? Finally, the priest asked, "Is there anyone else who would like to share a story?" To my shock, my father stood up. My jaw dropped. My parents avoided Mr. Calder for years. Why would Dad speak? He walked to the podium slowly, his shoulders heavy. "I have something to confess," he began. "Something my family never knew." The room fell silent. I knew Arthur long before he was my neighbor. 35 years ago, we were on the police force together. A ripple of surprise passed through the room. My father continued, voice tight with emotion. "One night during a drug raid gone wrong, I made a mistake, a deadly one. I entered the building too early. I triggered the gunfire. I froze, and Arthur dragged me to safety while being shot in the leg." Gasps filled the room. My father swallowed. "He saved my life twice." I stared in disbelief. Dad never told us this. But afterward, he said, voice cracking, I couldn't bear to face him. Everyone praised me for bravery when the truth was that Arthur was the brave one. I got the promotion. He was quietly retired on disability. His hands trembled on the podium. I avoided him because every time I saw him, I saw my own guilt. He never blamed me, but I blamed myself. A hush blanketed the room. Then my father added softly, he wasn't dangerous. He was the best man I ever knew. My throat tightened. All these years, my parents didn't hate him. They hated their own shame. The funeral ended with quiet prayers. People rose and formed small groups, sharing memories. I remained seated, stunned. The truth too late. As the church slowly emptied, I walked up to the coffin. Mr. Calder lay peacefully, dressed in a neat suit, his hands folded gently. He looked smaller than I remembered, fragile even. I wished I had known him, wished I had knocked on his door as a kid, wished I had spoken to him instead of staring with fear. Beside the coffin was a table filled with old photographs. Arthur in military gear, Arthur helping kids, Arthur with rescue dogs, Arthur fixing someone's porch. A life spent giving, unseen by the people closest to him. My father approached me quietly. I should have told you, he said. Why didn't you? He inhaled shakily. Because admitting the truth meant admitting that he lived a better life than I ever did. I wasn't strong enough. I didn't know what to say. My mother joined us, tears in her eyes. We judged him unfairly, she whispered. We punished him for your father's guilt. I looked at the pictures again. We all did, I murmured. A letter left behind. As we turned to leave, a woman approached me, the same woman who had spoken first. Are you Noah? She asked. Yes. She handed me a small envelope. Arthur wanted you to have this. My heart skipped. I opened it carefully. Inside was a simple note in shaky handwriting. Noah, you seem like a good kid. Don't let fear decide who people are. See them for yourself. Arthur. I stared at the words, a wave of emotion washing over me. He noticed me. He knew me. He cared, even when I had never given him a chance. Who he really was. That day, I walked out of the church with a different understanding. Mr. Calder wasn't dangerous. He was a hero hidden in plain sight. The danger was the stories we believed without questioning. The danger was the walls we built out of fear and shame. And the real regret was realizing the truth only when it was too late.